Hey everybody, let's analyze the scene from the Phantom Menace where the Trade Federation makes their first invasion of Naboo. We open on a beautiful sweeping landscape shot of Naboo, in stark contrast to the drab halls of the Trade Federation ship, showing us a glimpse of what will be destroyed should our heroes fail, then transitioning into Naboo's elite discussing the matter. Notice the staging of this scene. Palpatine is at the center of it all, guiding the rulers of Naboo, including the Queen herself. It is also important that he appears in hologram form. So far in this film we've seen 4 long-distance communications, but Gunray and the Queen both used regular 2D video calls on screens, leaving our only exposure to the Phantom-esque holograms being Darth Sidious and Senator Palpatine, a very subtle way to make the connection between them early on. Of course, these subtle cues are unlikely to make impact on the first viewing, but they bring the story depth, a sense of mystery viewers can solve if they pay close enough attention, and plenty of incredible moments on repeat viewings.
Negotiations haven't started because the ambassadors aren't there. How could that be true? I have assurances from the Chancellor. His ambassadors did it right. Let's be the negotiate, ambassadors.
Senator Palpatine, what's happening?
This introduction of Palpatine is a great way to show his cunning political mind. We've seen Sidious and Gunray's plans to eliminate all traces of the ambassadors and claim they never arrived, so now we get a chance to see Palpatine spinning that to his advantage on the other side as well. The way he says, "How could that be true? I have assurances from the Chancellor," is Palpatine setting the groundwork to throw Chancellor Valorum under the bus later in the film with the vote of no confidence. His connection is then dramatically and conveniently cut by the Trade Federation before he has a chance to answer any more questions about the situation.
Check the transmission generator.
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
This brief exchange is a subtle way to show that Naboo has had peace for a long time, but not beyond memory. The young Queen and Captain of the Guard assume a regular power failure, but the old advisor, C.O. Bibble, knows what it truly is, likely because he has heard of or seen this sort of problem when he was much younger, an indication that the Republic's decline has been in motion for generations. Both Queen Amidala and Captain Panaka reply with their firm belief in the power of social and political norms that are now outdated for the state of the galaxy, wrongly assuming that economic threats alone are enough to limit the bad actors' behavior.
The Federation would not dare go that far.
The Senate would revoke their trade franchise, and they'd be finished.
We must continue to rely on negotiation.
Negotiation? We've lost all communications. And where are the Chancellor's ambassadors?
C.O. Bibble prompts the question of the galactic government's competency here, but notice the language he uses. He specifically questions where the Chancellor's ambassadors are, referring to the talking point casually laid by Palpatine to push the Naboo ruling class against the current Chancellor. This shows just how subtle and effective Palpatine's schemes are.
This is a dangerous situation, Your Highness. Our security volunteers will be no match against the battle-hardened Federation army.
Panaka's comment on the danger, along with the rising music, ramps up tension again from this brief moment of political discussion. He informs the audience that the planet is advanced and peaceful enough to only have security volunteers, and also that the Trade Federation army is battle-hardened. The Trade Federation has been allowed to get so out of control that they have fought and won physical battles before on other planets, further raising the threat level and empathizing us with the Naboo. I'll also point out that Captain Panaka is yet another example of Star Wars casually but prominently displaying American minority groups in positions of power, again showing realistically diverse casting with a strong message but no pandering.
I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
Amidala's words tell us she will not go to war, but her quivering lips show uncertainty and fear as the music implies what we are about to learn in the next scene, that sometimes war isn't a choice. Violence can be accepted by both sides in a conflict, but it only takes one to start it. This is the paradox of tolerance. If a society is wholly tolerant without limit, its ability to be tolerant will eventually be seized or destroyed by the intolerant. In order to maintain a tolerant society, the tolerant must actively oppose intolerance. This is a lesson that Padme struggles to balance throughout the saga, and presents thought-provoking questions on morality and how to stand by personal convictions without losing them to external forces. Her comment on personally trying to avoid war is immediately undermined by the reveal of the Trade Federation's invasion force. had a view of the Trade Federation army from within a single battleship, but this is our first look at the invasion force as a whole. It is at once spectacular and terrifying to see this incredible fleet moving in on the planet we've come to empathize with through the start of the film. All the people we just met in the scene before this are suddenly in danger. The stakes are high. Now, many people have problems with this scene, saying that it's ridiculous for these ships to land in the middle of a forest and then drive all the way to the palace. I agree that would be ridiculous if it were true. The mistake people make is assuming that the Trade Federation's goal is to capture the palace. With that in mind, it seems like they landed their ships far away and then drove them all the way to the palace to take it over and capture the queen. Seemingly terrible military strategy, when they could have just landed their ships in the middle of the city and declared victory. But taking the palace is not their only goal. It's made clear that the Trade Federation's goal is not only to take the palace and capture the queen, but also to subjugate the entire planet. It's never shown that the troops in the forest are the same troops invading the city. It is shown that the palace invasion troops land some distance from the palace, but likely not all the way in the forest. Based on the shot of the landing ships originally flying to the planet, along with the Trade Federation's later comments implying total planetary domination, it can be assumed that some part of the fleet landed in the forest, while other parts landed near the palace or other cities. This theory is further confirmed when Boss Nass tells the Jedi that the fastest way to the palace is through the planet core, implying that the palace is on the far side of the planet from where their particular landing craft touched ground. After the dramatic landing, we get another piece of information bringing the story back to our heroes with a more personal threat.
Yes, Viceroy.
Captain, we've searched the ship, and there is no trace of the Jedi. They may have gotten on one of your landing craft.
If they're down here, sir, we'll find them.
Use caution. These Jedi are not to be underestimated.
Now we are primed not only to worry for Naboo, but also the Jedi. The Trade Federation army is shown to have a lot more powerful tanks and fast scouts that we haven't seen before, leading us to be concerned that they may be a match for the Jedi. This is why the earlier droideka scene was so important, to establish that the Jedi can be beat by Trade Federation troops, even if they are virtually invincible against regular battle droids. Thus the Jedi can be powerful paragons while we still fear for their safety and connect with the story emotionally. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this deep dive interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below with your thoughts on today's topic. And as always, think critically, be creative, and have a great day.